What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw, and I've got another box for you guys. And inside it is a Canik 5-inch, one of the most requested guns on the channel. I've been trying to do a lot of requests, especially from Patreon supporters, so if you guys are a supporter of the channel, feel free to message me and tell me what gun you'd like to see on the channel. But I was pretty excited about this. This is the Canik TP9SFX, I believe. It is an extremely good deal. This is essentially the Canik Elite that I had on the channel way back when, but this is the full size with the 5-inch slide on it. It's got some features on it that I really like coming right out of the box. Number one, it's got the high quality fiber optic sights. I'm a big fan of that. They look like Warren. They're Warren Tactical. One of the things I like about Warren Tactical sights is they do have the super tactical ledge for your belt and your big toe and all that, and you can run it off that. Plus they have a pretty decent sight picture with the blacked out rear, fiber optic red front. It also has some serrations up here on the top to reduce glare. You generally only see that feature on really expensive pistols, stuff like 1911s and like Wilson Combat type stuff, so that's a really nice value. It's got the slide cuts there to reduce the reciprocating mass of the slide going back and forth. It's got an extended magazine release and an extended slide release, which is pretty cool, and it's got a really good trigger right out of the box, along with a stippled spot for your thumb there. It comes with back straps. It comes with some pretty good texture. It comes with a different color on the slide. I don't think that's Cerakote. I'm not really sure what that is. I'll have to look that up for the full review. And then it also comes with two 18-round magazines with base pads, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. As far as a value-oriented gun goes, features-wise, this is pretty exceptional. I've also heard that these guns have won national championships in like USPSA and stuff, which is pretty cool. We're going to end up throwing an optic on this during the 1,000-round testing. I'm not sure what yet. If you guys have a recommendation, I want something with a similar size to the SRO or the Delta Point, but I'd like to have a budget-minded optic because it's a budget-minded gun, so it makes sense as a total package. So we will put an optic on here, but not today. We're going to be shooting it with the iron sights. Now, it does have the 5-inch barrel. It's chambered in 9mm, and it is a striker-fired pistol similar to a Glock M&P, and it does feel very similar to a PPQ or a VP9, and particularly the Walther P99 in my opinion. And these guns are from Turkey. I'm honestly not sure where they're produced, but to get into a little bit of the controversy of this gun, number one, they are produced in Turkey. Number two, they also have had some reliability issues in the past with some reviewers, including myself. The Canik Elite, when it first came out, had a lot of reliability problems. Most people attributed that to the tight recoil spring, which I've heard this one has as well. And that could be the case. I got the replacement recoil spring from Canik, still had problems, ended up getting it enough to function, and got rid of it from one of my buddies who said he wanted it, and that gun to this day still has issues. So what are you going to do? We'll see if this has issues or not. We'll see if the quality control is there for the Canik, because you do have to lose some things for the incredible value that you get for this gun, but if it runs reliably, it's a heck of a deal. Obviously, the smart thing to do with a new gun is to get up close, zero it with paper, all that new stuff, all that good stuff, so you know exactly where it hits. So of course, the natural thing to do for me is shoot it at 75 yards starting off. Don't like the grip, and I don't love the recoil impulse. Feels kind of weird holding onto the gun. If you look how I grip the gun, even with the large back strap on it, there's no space for my left hand at all, which is not a problem for most people, just a problem for me. I'm having a hard time getting used to my grip on this and holding it steady. Well, I got that 10-incher.
Way to go.
All right. So, classic me It's got a U-notch rear on it, which I do like, but I do have some optical issues with that sometimes, and I have a tendency to bury the sight more than it should, and I end up shooting a little low at distance. Corrected that after I noticed I was doing it, and the gun seems to be hitting on target just fine. All right, so we'll pop a few rounds up here up close. We'll shoot a little bit at 25 yards here, and then we'll move up closer. Might even do a group. It's hard to say. Man, that slide release is stiff. Yeah, whew. See, not very fast. Oh, okay. Last round of the magazine. Controls are stiff. Feels like it's giving me more rock than like a VP9 or a PPQ would, which is strange because it has a lower bore axis. We're just having some trouble keeping a hold of it and keeping it cinched down for some reason. Some guns just don't vibe with people.
Yeah.
All right, so a few things we learned from shooting up close. I like the sighting setup, but for some reason I'm shooting a little bit low every once in a while, and I'm just shooting a little bit off today. I don't know if that has to do with the Canik or it has to do with myself. The sight radius is usually what I really like. The grip's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of the grip. It seems like it's just a little bit too small for me overall for a 5-inch gun, which is again reminiscent of the PPQ and VP9, but still should be able to make things work a little bit here at 50. We'll see how it goes. All right, we had another failure. Looks like it was going to seat the round, but this round just didn't get all the way out of the chamber. We'll see if it works like this. If not, we'll fix it. Go for some smaller stuff. My plates aren't going to happen today. Alright, so it's pretty accurate. I like the trigger, I gotta say. I like the mag release. It works very well. Changes are very smooth. Slide release is breaking in a little bit. People are gonna call it a slide stop, whatever. They wouldn't have put a lever on it if it was a slide stop. It's a slide release. It's meant to actually be used like that. The takedown on the Canik's pretty cool. I like the look of it overall. The optics plate looks pretty big, so hopefully the optics sit a little bit lower in the gun. That'll be very nice. I am planning on putting an optic on this, maybe a Hollow Sun 509, something like that. And I'm definitely gonna get Talon grips because this grip and me are not vibing at all. One of the problems is it has very little texture which I do really like, especially when it's cold outside like it is a little bit today. I think it's a pretty good value for the money, in particular if you fit this grip, which I think most hand sizes will. It had 2 failures, which worries me a little bit. This was 115 grain cellar and bellet, pretty standard ammunition that a lot of people buy in stores, obviously, so it's a very common ammunition. I like to use that ammunition when I test my guns. The previous gun liked a little bit hotter stuff, 124, something like that, so we'll get some of that stuff out for the 1,000 round review, as well as some hollow points and stuff like that, and see how reliably it runs. But so far we put 250 rounds through today, and we had 2 failures. So that's about 1 every 100 rounds or so, which is, believe it or not, about the exact same amount we had with the Canik Elite, the smaller version, once we got the appropriate spring. Before that, we had 1 every 10 or so. Another issue that could be attributing some of these malfunctions, aside from the ammo choice that it may or may not like, some guns like 147, some like 124, some like 115, some like a little bit lighter loads, some like a little bit hotter loads. Like I said, this is 115 standard cellar and bellet. But another thing that might be an issue is a break-in period. And this gun has not been broken in. And obviously you know that because it's the first shots video, it's the first shots we take out of the gun. It has been lubricated just a little bit, and I did have this gun for several days before, and I did spend that time with the gun locked completely back to help compress that recoil spring a little bit, because that was some of the suggestions I got on my previous Canik, and obviously this one when I posted it on Instagram as well. Several people said that they locked the slide lock back for several days, and after that it worked perfectly fine. So some of it could be a break-in period. Once we get past that 500 rounds or so and get into that 1,000 round review, then we'll really decide what the reliability of the gun actually is. But as of right now, it's about 99%. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please support your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.